Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Cam Legend, and in this video, I'm gonna be speaking about how to get out of mental ruts. Now, mental ruts usually happen over an accumulation of time, and it usually starts off with having great surge of energy in a day. Then for the rest of the day, having no energy to do anything. Maybe we're stuck in bed, watching TV, Netflix, something like that. I think we all can relate. Now, what happens usually after that, if we're talking about mental ruts, is that we then find it harder to do the things that we want to do the day after, the third day, and then before we know it, it's a whole week of inactivity of the things that we want to achieve. And this now becomes a negative habit. And the purpose of my videos is to holistically solve people's problems with using mainly the mind. Because if you're able to use the mind, which is a form of meditation, we don't have to take medication, because we know that medication doesn't get to the root cause. And my page is spiritual because I look at things top down, which is spiritual, mental, then physical. Yes, there's subplanes, but we're not talking about that today. We're just talking about the three states of consciousness, okay? So why solve a problem just physically? When we solve problems physically, it comes with an expiry date. But if we look at things from the top down, we can always bypass this physical realm, which is external. So one of the reasons why we have mental ruts usually is due to external energies, aka people throwing their emotional baggage onto us, that then puts us out of whack with ourselves. And when they do this, it drains us of energy, which can put us into a rut. Or it could be the government trying to implement certain laws and regulations, and then they also use the media, which do you even need to talk about what the media does? But yes, the media inciting fear on you, this is also taking energy away from you, which all puts you into a mind state that is cluttered and has an adverse effect on your overall aura, okay? So we are subjected to external energy. And there's extraterrestrial energy also, such as the moon. And if you're not in tide with the moon, if you're not in the right flow with the moon, this can also cause a problem. So this is why we stay in sync with the moon. And another name for the moon is sin. Sin is also a sine wave. Okay, so this is where we got the word. The word sin goes back to the Sumerian times. Okay, so as we know, the moon waxes and wanes. When it's waxing, it's becoming a full moon. This is where the energy is pushing forward. This is when it's the best time to be doing work. When the moon is waning, which is going inside of itself, this is the time to be banishing negative thought forms and negative habits to move forward. The more you work with the moon, the more you become in sync with this reality. The more you do things month to month, day to day, the more you kill these negative thought forms, okay? And we have planets also. So certain energies can affect us. So if planets are conjuncting each other, if planets are square to each other, this can also affect our energies. So what am I talking about here? I'm talking about a lot of external energy that can affect us. What's the best way to circumvent this situation? By meditation, okay? Meditation, going within, planning weeks ahead, knowing when the energies are going in, when the energies are going out, doing certain things and activities like this. So what can we do? First, we want to start mentalizing and imagining us doing certain things that are productive for our lives. So if you have 10 things to do in your to-do list, it's in your best interest to imagine you doing these acts perfectly and harmoniously with no adverse effects, okay? So when you visualize you doing these certain acts, you now also have to write it down. When you write it down, you now make this concrete. You can also use your phone, which has an active to-do list on the iOS Notes app. If you go on the iOS Notes app, there's a button there which allows you to tick off things. I use that also, and I also use a journal. Up to you, do whatever it works with you, just get the work done. Okay, so now once you've done that, you now put a time limit on what you need to do within the week. Okay, but you don't do it in the sense that you want to do, like if you want to do 10 things in 1 week, you don't bang it out in 3 days. If you do, that's good. But this is how you can go into mental ruts, by trying to do too much in little of time. And there's no issue with that as long as you don't burn out. But remember this also, as soon as you put something down into this universe and write something down in this universe that you want to do, there's now going to be external energies that are going to conspire to make this hassle, especially starting off. You're going to have people that may throw emotional baggage onto you, for example. So how protected is your energy? How concentrated are you in your goals? Because these are the certain things that take you away from your energy. So you want to make sure that you're protected, you're concentrated, you have nothing to worry about, and you can ace these goals. So mind state is important, protecting your energy is important. Then you also want to, let me just lost my train of thought. You want to be loose with this weekly planner, because putting too much pressure on yourself can bring a cluttered mind. When you're putting too much pressure on your mind, you can get things like migraines, thinking too much, worrying about the output of things. And this all messes up your manifestations, because you're now thinking way too much into it. You're now trying to work with time, which is Saturnian energy, and you're putting this unnecessary pressure onto yourself. And Saturnian energy is everything to do with law, obligations, restrictions, contraction of energy. And starting off, you want to just be loose with it, with these active to-do lists. You want to be loose with it. Then the more you continually work week to week, month to month, moon by moon, the more concrete and physical these productive outcomes become. And then you start to manifest. So Saturn will eventually show you that you're on the right path, and you will reap what you sow. This is where we get the word, you reap what you sow. So firstly, start off loosely, because you don't want to be attacked by external energies, let's just say that. And then moving forward, you start playing this like a game and saying, cool, I want to do 15 things within 3 days. Sometimes don't even write it down, just do it. Just do it. And then you say, okay, I want to do this by the end of the week. And I want to bring out 4 tapes. I'm just speaking for, producers, musicians, whatever. If you want to bring out 4 EPs within a week, sounds crazy, but if you wanted to do that, it's possible. You can start playing with energy. You can start doing things like it's a game, because ultimately this reality is a game. Okay? So this is it. Between working with yourself and the external world, you have to realize that you don't want anything to be too easy, and you don't want anything to be too challengeable that it's not even tenable to do, you know what I mean? So, make sure that you're doing something that is somewhere in the middle, not too easy, not too hard. And then over time, you start to master yourself, you start to make this a game, and you start to see that there's heights of yourself that you haven't even seen, because you haven't tapped into this Superman or Superwoman energy yet. Okay? And we all have this inside of us. It's just about unlocking these certain DNAs, pushing the threshold on things. Everybody can relate to going to the gym, not being able to squat or push a certain amount of weights, and then over time we was able to do maximum reps on that. Then over time we was able to put the weight on that and still do the same amount of reps. So this is how you want to see your progression, but it's just with the mind. And your mind, you want to see it as malleable. It has the ability to change over time, especially the younger you are, So know that your mind is more powerful than matter, and matter is talking about the material world, okay? Your mind has the ability to change different pathways in its thinking and thought processing if you give it the ability to learn new things and new challenges. So challenge yourself, okay? So yeah, if you need any assistance, consultation, name readings, astrological charts, natal charts, synastry charts, this can all help you understand yourself better. And by understanding yourself better, you will understand why certain things and situations happen in your life, and why there's times of the year where you're not doing well in terms of productivity, and then there's some times in the year where you're just acing it. However, we want to continually have this energy throughout the year, understanding that it's about balance. Sometimes in the year, there should be things you should be doing which is productive, but not just on the go type of energy, which is active energy. Sometimes there's parts of the year where you should be coasting and banishing certain thought forms to allow you to progress on a different type of energy that even goes past the habitual energy. You get me? Sometimes just by thinking differently, you can now see a situation much clearer and much easier, and it doesn't require your actual energy. It may require, outsourcing or anything. I'm just giving examples out here. Okay? Peace.